Good morning. What's it doing out there? Is it snowing pretty bad? Gotcha. Yeah. Roads are slippery, though, is what I'm hearing Zach say. Excuse me. And the roads look covered, or they did look covered this morning. Gotcha. Okay. All right. We've got 3 maybes today. Stephen's supposed to call us at the top of the show. Okay, good. I'll get to him right away as soon as I do the intro. Chief Schwarzenegger is scheduled for 8:40. I have no reason to assume he won't be in, but, you know, he could get caught up with traffic and stuff too, maybe, so that's a possibility. And 8:10 is supposed to be Jeff Gasnick, but I got an email over the weekend saying, can we reschedule? I said yes, but I never heard back from him, so I don't know if he's calling in or not calling in, so everything's a little iffy. We'll figure it out, though. I always do. I'm going to try and drink some coffee and get this crud out of my throat in the next 2 or 3 minutes. It'll be fine. That's what I'm going to do. Yep.
Estimate your future benefits, apply for retirement, and manage your benefits all from the comfort of your home. And give yourself the freedom to do what you want offline. Social Security's online services help put you in control with secure access to your information anytime, anywhere, allowing you to spend more time with family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster with a look at your local weather forecast for your start to the work week. We look for mostly cloudy skies, a few snow showers on and off through the day. A couple of inches can be expected in some higher elevations. Daytime high near 32 degrees. Your overnight low of 22 degrees under mostly cloudy skies, lingering snow showers. You'll see mostly cloudy skies for the start of your Tuesday. Clouds breaking in the afternoon for some sunshine. Still stays cold with temperatures in the upper 20s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
I'm not a Monday guy.
I'm not crazy about it either. I also don't like Tuesdays, Wednesdays, or Thursdays.
Are you ready to go?
I'm warning you, I'm seriously stressed out here.
You always drink like this so early in the morning?
Isn't it a bit early in the day for the bottle, even for you?
Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
Make the radio call.
It's time to get up.
It's time to hear that pop.
This tape will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
We are go for live.
News, information, conversation, controversy, and fun. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
Well, welcome to Monday, welcome to February, and welcome to a wintry morning this morning. Here on the Watchdog Morning Show, weather and traffic detours dominate this morning. WTRF TV's Stephen Ruffing in just literally a minute or two to bring us a live update on what's going on out there in the world this morning. Lots of school delays, cancellations, and remote learning today because of the weather and road conditions. We'll give you a quick look at that. Wheeling Hospital among the businesses most likely affected by the new detours. We'll hear what they have to say about planning for them. Last year's crime stats for Wheeling just released. One big item of note, big increase in drug overdoses. Chief Schwarzenegger is with us to detail that. The size of a new coronavirus relief bill is being negotiated between Biden, the Democrats, and the GOP. Senator Manchin likely to be a big factor in that. We'll take a look at some of the options there. COVID in West Virginia seems to be heading in the right direction, but vaccine availability is still that huge flashpoint, not just here, but elsewhere. And finally, how much will you pay for a good hamburger? I got that story coming up this morning here on the Watchdog Morning Show. It is 7:10, 10 minutes after the hour here on the Big Gig. We are looking at 29 degrees at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport, 29 degrees at the airport. That feels like temperature is 22, and it is snowing outside. How bad is it snowing, and how bad are the roads? Let's start things off with an update from Stephen Ruffing over at the Big 7 WTRF-TV. He's been out and about in it a good bit this morning. Stephen, good morning.
Good morning, Howard. I'm inside trying to thaw out right now before I head back out, but, you know, those roads are still in pretty dicey conditions. I'll be honest. What it is, it's that rain from yesterday mixing in with that snow and then that freezing overnight. So you have this like slush, ice, whatever you want to call it, under that thin layer of snow, just making it really, really tough to drive out there.
Yeah, we got all of the bad things we don't want all combined together. A little bit of snow, a little bit of ice, a little bit of rain. And then the dropping temperatures are the real factor when we're down to, it's 29 right now at the airport, and about that, somewhere in that range everywhere around the upper Ohio Valley. What all that crud on the road is going to freeze, and it's just going to be slippery. Could be black ice, could be snow on top of it. Is the snow still coming down, or was it when you came in?
Yeah, it is. It's pretty consistent. I think that's what's troubling, too, is because the crews have been out throughout the night. You know, they were overnight into early this morning. We saw the snow and salt trucks go by. But the thing is that consistent fall of snow, it's not heavy snow. It's nice and, you know, powdery, but it's just the consistency is what's kind of throwing everything off, because the second you get those roads kind of cleaned, it's cold enough. It's 29 degrees, inching towards 30. So it's still freezing over. Those roads are plenty cold enough for that snow to stick. So it's really sometimes that thin layer of snow that will get you, because that becomes real slick, and those icy conditions get slick. So really, you know, if you don't have to commute, if you're able to work from home this morning, which a lot of people are, we know those circumstances. We won't get into that. That's a different story. But if you are working from home, if you have the chance to work from home, you talked about the schools being canceled, delayed, remote learning, what have you. Stay at home. Stay warm. It's not worth going out onto those roads. But if you absolutely have to, it's better if you have a four-wheel drive car, all-wheel drive car, or truck. But if you don't, really be careful. Now, the highways seem to be okay, but it's also the ramps and the exits off the highways that you really see some tough conditions. So just be careful on those. I mean, give yourself some time to stop. We were coming from, we were going through the tunnels and took the 16th Street exit going eastbound. And that road, that exit ramp, whatever you want to call it, hasn't been touched. So there are back roads like that you really, really need to look out for.
And that particular road can get a little dangerous to begin with. You got a big swooping turn you got to make there, and
exactly
that could be a bad one. And compound all of this, Stephen, with the fact that people are going to have to be aware of some new traffic patterns today too.
You're absolutely right. Now, if you're listening right now, get your commute in now, because you won't have that for the next 9 months, because I-70 East, you know, that phase 2 portion will be in effect. The signs say 9 a.m. We were on it just a few minutes ago, so I'm sticking with 9 a.m. We're going to keep an eye out on it. So I think they want everyone to get their morning commute in, and one last time for the next 9 months. And then it'll be closed off. You know, that same Fulton Bridge portion, that the westbound lane that we love so dearly, is now going to be on the eastbound lane. But it is going to throw a bit of a wrench into things, that eastbound lane. You touched on it before I came on, Wheeling Hospital being affected by it. But there are detours. It's just going to be longer. It's an inconvenience. We know the circumstances because of the westbound lane. We're going to beat it like a dead horse, but take your time. Be cautious. because everyone's going through it. Everyone has to take these detours, so it's best if we all just cooperate and take our time on those roads and take it easy. You will get to your destination with these detours. It's just going to take a little more time than usual.
You know, I have a line that I use always, you know, when people come speeding past you or something, I say, we all meet at the yellow light anyways, you know?
Isn't that the truth?
We all meet at the stoplight, so just take your time. I did and I encourage people to do this, although maybe not today. I did a dry run over the weekend of some of the detours to the Curiosity. Normally I can get through the tunnels into Wheeling Hospital, as an example, in about, 2 or 3 minutes. Took me 7 to go up over the hill, and that was with no traffic. So you're going to have to give yourself extra time once the new detours are in effect to get where you're going. Give yourself extra time this morning because of the roads and the snow and the ice, and then once the new detours kick in around 9 o'clock, you're going to need to give yourself extra time to get where you're going. And if you don't, you'll end up complaining and yelling and calling talk show hosts and writing on social media about something isn't right. And what isn't right is you didn't pay attention ahead of time.
You couldn't be more spot on with that, Howard. And speaking of that hill, Wheeling Hill, where you're talking about that US 40, where they're telling everyone to go on the detour. This morning especially, be careful on that one. We haven't had the chance to get over that way, but I'm almost certain that, even with salt trucks and stuff, that could probably see some pretty bad road conditions. Stay inside, work from home, please, if you can, because the construction, the weather, it just makes for a not so perfect storm.
And again, speaking strictly of the detours of construction here, not of the weather, I-470 is one good alternate route for people to start thinking about taking if you're coming from Ohio and heading to parts east. And you're not going down, you're not going to stop at TJ's or Perkins or Wheeling Hospital or someplace like that. Take 470, bypass the city, and keep on going that way, parts east. If you are local traffic, then you have to get off at downtown Wheeling and get up over the hill, up Wheeling Hill. It's the reverse of what we've been doing for the last 9 months, and people are going to have to get used to it. But I guess the big thing this morning, Stephen, is watch out for the roads because of the weather is just making things a little bit difficult out there, right?
Exactly. That's what you need to worry about this morning. Don't mind that traffic because we'll all get there. But weather-wise, stay safe out there. If you don't have to go outside, don't, because it seems like it's going to be pretty consistent and until Tuesday. You'll talk to Zach in about 20 minutes or so. He'll give you a better idea on the time span and the timeline on this snow. But from what I understand, it'll be all through Tuesday. That's when the winter weather advisory's through. Just be careful. Be smart, everyone.
Well, listen, go dry out your mittens, like Bernie Sanders, and then put them back on and go back out and give us some more information as the time comes. We'll be watching for you on the Big 7.
Yeah, you got it. Thanks, Howard. I appreciate it.
All right, talk to you soon. Thanks, Stephen. I appreciate your help this morning.
Absolutely. We'll talk to you later.
All right, have a good day. Stephen Ruffing checking in this morning from the Big 7. He's been out and about. This was to be a morning where the big issue, pardon me. You were right, Biff. You said, let Stephen do the talking in here. You won't have to worry about your throat. And that was fine up until he stopped talking. Then I got a problem here. We thought the big issue today, Biffy, was going to be the new detours. But actually, the big problem this morning is really the weather that creates problems on the roads. A little bit of snow coming down. Could be a lot coming down. It's a very light, fine snow. As I look outside the windows here at my home studio, you got the snow on the ground. You got ice on the ground. You had kind of slushy, freezing rain yesterday and overnight. And then temperatures right now, 29 degrees with a feels like of 22. And that just means all of that crud on the road freezes over. So, A, give yourself time to clean off your car. Give yourself time to warm up your car. B, give yourself time to drive carefully through the snow, whichever way you're going to go. And then C or D or whatever number I'm at, whatever letter I'm at, be aware that there's going to be new traffic patterns starting today. And that's going to make things more difficult as well. And so, Biffy, I say, welcome to February.
What a way to start a new month.
We are indeed starting our brand new month, and I guess the good news is that we're already 1/12 of the way through 2021, but if I heard Zach correctly on the Big Seven's report on TV this morning, and Stephen said we'll hear from Zach again here on the radio in about 20 minutes, today and tomorrow still have potential for winter weather advisories, and I think I heard him say that we might have another wintry mix coming in later in the week again, depending on how some cold fronts go. So we could have a rough week all week long. So just be aware of all that. Yeah. But I want to thank Stephen for checking in with us. Oh my heavens! Pardon me, Biffy.
What
did you find on your tiny commute in this morning?
Yeah. Before that, real quick, that other system you were talking about looks like Thursday into maybe Thursday night is the that second system. So we'll see. But no, just a little bit of icy roads, and the hard part was the snow covers the lines, so you can't see the lines, so you don't know what lane you're in. So it was the old, hopefully somebody was already on the road and made tire tracks, so you're following the tire tracks until you can see where the lines are on the road, so you know where you are. So other than that, I mean, it wasn't too bad, but it can be a little tricky. So, leave yourself a little extra time, and scraping off the windshield. It was kind of like it was a couple weeks ago when we had that quick system that moved through, and the windshield, you started scraping, you got a little bit of snow, and then you got to the ice, and then if you let the frost or whatever on the car warm up, it took care of whatever was left, and then you could just use the windshield wipers and clean off, do it that way. But yeah, that's the most tricky thing is finding or knowing where the lines are on the roads.
Well, that's a fairly critical thing to find. Oh man. Oh boy. Here in the early morning hours is not so bad, Biffy, because there aren't as much traffic out there. By now, traffic's picking up, and now you want to be able to see the lines because you want to see whether the cars are coming and going. So do watch out for that, but drive carefully this morning for sure. Most area schools are changed in one way or another. It is interesting. We still have a couple of delays, at least according to the list that I'm looking at. Most area schools are closed, and then several of them have gone to remote learning today. Bel Air schools, Marshall County schools, Ohio County schools are on remote learning today. I know Ohio County went to a 2-hour delay for a while yesterday, and then just simply dropped the 2-hour delay and decided to go to remote learning. Marshall County is also on remote learning, and Bel Air is as well. Others may be too. I'm not going to run the whole list down for you. You can check it over at WTF.com, our news partner's website. And man, is this the weather that's causing this, or what is this problem here?
I know.
Can you mic me down for just one quick second?
Yeah, go ahead, and we'll get back to you there in a second.
All right, maybe that's a little bit better. Let's give it a try. Anyway, the bottom line is area schools are not on normal schedule. Check with your school. Some are remote learning, some are on a 2-hour delay, handful still. Many are closed today, so be aware of that. It's a snow day, which I thought we'd never have again. I thought with all this remote learning, we wouldn't do snow days anymore.
Yeah, that's what was weird yesterday when everybody started going 2-hour delays, and then they all at once, it seems most of them switched over. But when they were going across, I'm thinking, well, why are we? Does it really matter that we're seeing this? Like you were saying, don't they have remote learning? So I mean, what's the big deal, especially for the West Virginia ones? I mean, why are they showing those? I mean, I thought that's what they did, but I guess not. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that a lot of people don't like remote learning, and I understand that we're finally getting out of it and getting kids back into the classroom, and that makes a lot of folks happy. But it's it's dangerous on the roads, especially in higher elevations. You may be able to look out your door down in the valley and say, "Oh, I can traverse that." But picture school buses having to go to some of the the county roads, having to pick up kids and stuff. So obviously, it's a day to readjust school. But I just was under the sense that once we had gotten some remote learning under our belt, that we would just keep on doing that. And so no snow day for you. Just going to have remote learning. And we are, again, I want to be clear that we are in some places, Ohio County, Marshall County. I see Bel Air's doing remote learning today. I'm not going to run the whole list down because for fear of making an error as I do that, but you can check it out at WTF's website. But a lot of, and then a good many schools just plain closed too. So I don't know. I thought we'd have more. But maybe, I guess the school districts still have built in some days, right? They still have those days built in for snow days, I guess.
Yeah, isn't it, I want to say, and I could be wrong, but maybe like a week that they build in, maybe a little longer, for different events or weather-related issues?
Yeah, I think so. So, anyways, be careful about that too. So, roads are bad. Schools are on a different schedule. Detours are going to kick into effect. Stephen said probably at 9 o'clock this morning on I-70 eastbound. And again, what's going to happen, just a quick reminder, from beginning today and continuing now for the next basically a year, 9 months, whatever. But you will not be able. You can go through the tunnels, but only to the end of the tunnels eastbound. You can get off of the 16th Street exit there if you want to, if you go through the tunnels, but you can't go any further. You cannot go any further on I-70 than the end of the tunnels. So, if you're going to places east of the tunnels, you'll need to get off in downtown Wheeling, exit 1A. You'll need to just take a quick block up through downtown, turn left onto 10th Street, and go over Wheeling Hill, and then through Fulton and Woodsdale and to wherever you're going. If you're going to Wheeling Hospital, or if you just need to get back on the interstate, you can do that around Perkins. Just turn onto the interstate there and get back on the interstate. It'll be reopened at that point. But that's your first detour if you're local traffic and trying to get someplace in Wheeling or out National Road. Now, if you're passing through the city, you're going to someplace to the east, maybe even if you're going to the Highlands, for example, just if you're coming from Ohio, take 470. 470 is open, take 470 and go to places east that way. So be aware of that. And then there are other changes that are occurring as a result of this, including parts of the trail are going to be shut down for, I guess, most of this work now, Biffy. So you want to be aware of that. The tunnel, looking for my notes here, what stretch of the tunnel? Well, there's a stretch of the trail. There's a stretch of the trail that'll be closed as well. So you do want to be aware of that. And all of this is going to stay in effect, they say, until this coming November. And again, given that Swank did a good job with the first phase and staying on schedule, I guess I'll trust their schedule. But it will be through November. So
they've had good practice.
I've said over and over. That's exactly right.
They've had good practice at this.
I did a little. Yeah. We had practice going the other way, but I maybe not today. Again, maybe not today because of the snow. But I do recommend if you have to travel that stretch, take a little test run. I know I did over the weekend. Just out of curiosity about the timing of it, see how much longer it would take to get from downtown Wheeling to Wheeling Hospital or to Woodsdale, for example, as opposed to being on the interstate. And it's good. It's at least twice as long. I mean, I think it took me 7 minutes is what I calculated, compared to a minute or two and that was on a Sunday morning with no traffic. So once traffic starts getting on that road, it'll back up, especially in the beginning, it'll back up and be a problem. So just be aware of all this. So we got a mess out there is what I'm trying to say, Biffy.
It is, and unfortunately, we had everything happen all at once. I mean, it would have been a different story had the weather had been better, and we didn't get everything that we had. So kind of, I guess, bad luck, you could say, that everything happened at once instead of maybe over a day or two or even a couple days. But we'll adapt and adjust and make the changes because we have to.
I think we have no other option. If you do want to send me a note about any traffic situations where you are or weather situations, road, snow, what have you, use the text line 304-214-1600, 304-214-1600, and give us an update on road conditions, weather conditions, wherever you may be, if you feel there's a need for us to pass that along to the rest of our listening audience. Well, we've got COVID to get into. I want to do a couple of COVID stories for you coming up in just a bit. Also want to talk about, this is kind of a weird story, but I want to, how much is too much to pay for a hamburger? And I'll tell you why I'm asking the story, and I'm going to get in trouble for this because I'm going to be called elitist or whatever, but well, the story's coming up in a bit. A little hamburger talk here in just a minute or two. But first, why don't we check some headlines from the Big Seven? And is Billy with us this morning?
Yes, he is.
Mr. DeFabio has our morning sports flash. And then Zach will be in, and we'll continue talking about the weather. He'll give us a better sense of timing of the weather during the day today and tomorrow. And what, if any, wintry mix we may see coming in later in the week. So lots of good info for you. Stick around. It's the Watchdog Morning Show for a Monday.
The WTRF Channel 7 News Update is brought to you by Thomas.
Man.
service, providing the Ohio Valley with everyone's pet care needs. Check us out on Facebook at Dirty Paws WHG or call 304-639-7754.
This is Wheeling Fire Chief Larry Helms reminding everyone about the seriousness of this COVID-19 in our region during these colder weather months. This virus is spreading rapidly and could put a strain on our hospitals and emergency services. I am asking everyone to please wear a mask. It's important to make sure your mask covers your nose and your mouth at all times. Wearing a mask is one of the only defensive tactics we have to slow this virus down. Remember, wear a mask, stay apart, and wash your hands.
From the Watchdog Network, right now traffic. Here's the latest from the Robinson Auto Group Traffic Center.
Traffic near the Highlands, on Washington Avenue, and on the Fort Henry Bridge is moving freely. Traffic near the Ohio Valley Mall, on 70 and 470, and on State Route 7 is moving steadily. The lane width reductions on the eastbound entrance ramp and westbound exit ramp to Wheeling Island will continue. Starting today, I-70 eastbound will be closed from US 250 and West Virginia 2 South, 16th Street exit to the Ogilvy Park exit to begin Phase 2 of the Fulton Bridge Replacement Project. Starting today, the US 250 North on-ramp to I-70 East will also be closed as part of Phase 2. Starting today, there will be alternating traffic patterns through the Wheeling Tunnel eastbound as a part of tunnel inspection. Starting today, there will be alternating single-lane restrictions on Ohio Route 7 from just south of Etna Street and Martins Ferry up until the Bridgeport exit for the installation of protective shielding and drainage updates. The Market Street I-70 eastbound on-ramp will also be closed as a part of the tunnel inspection. The Market Street overpass width reduction will continue. I-70 construction will continue westbound where crossovers are in effect. And all existing detours and closures will continue for the I-70 Bridges project. Follow Ohio Valley Traffic Report on Facebook, WTRF 7 News, and the Watchdog for updates.
You're listening to The Watchdog, now on FM at 97.7 and 98.1. Sounds so clear. Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson were just discussing it.
Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
Are we clear?
Crystal.
The Watchdog, live and local talk radio, just the way you like it. WKKX and WVLY. Voted coolest couple in their high school yearbook. Give us a call and tell us what you're thinking. Locally, 304-214-1600. Out of the area, toll free, 866-514-1600 or 304-232-TALK.
It's your turn to talk. From politics to pet peeves. Get it off your chest and on the air. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
Wait a minute. Biffy, did I hear you say in your traffic report that in addition to all the other stuff today, they're going to be tunnel inspections or tunnel inspections? Is that eastbound?
Yeah, that was that's true. That was eastbound. That's what the Department of Transportation had sent, so I just threw that in as well.
So in addition to just the general change in traffic patterns and the detours, they're going to throw in some tunnel. Is it tunnel washing or tunnel inspection?
Inspection.
Inspection, right? So they're going to throw in a tunnel inspection at the same time. Couldn't they have done that sooner? It just seems to me like that just complicates matters, but who am I to offer opinions on that, right? Sometimes I feel like I don't want to be one of those perpetual complainers. I really don't. But sometimes I feel like, come on, guys, couldn't you schedule these things a little bit better? Do we have to have everything happening all at one time? I hadn't heard that until I just caught your traffic report a minute ago. 7:41, 19 to the hour here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Well, it is, we thought our number one story of the morning would be, as we prepared for the show on Friday, thought today would probably be traffic detours. Indeed, it's traffic, but it's more like weather-related information now. So who better to help us talk about that than Zach Petty from the Big Seven. Good morning, Zach.
Good morning, Howard. How are you today?
Well, I'm inside where it's warm, and, I'm just looking out the window and seeing the snow, but I'm not out in the snow, so that's good.
Yeah, at least you weren't Steven this morning. He was out in the cold and looking at road conditions and just bearing all of what Old Man Winter has to offer this morning.
And Old Man Winter certainly has offered a good bit, hasn't it?
Yes, Winter Storm Orlena, big talking points throughout most of the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. Now, luckily, us in the Ohio Valley, we're not really impacted by much. Now, yes, we're going to continue to see snow falling throughout the rest of your Monday, but the most impactful snow is actually going to be falling into central Pennsylvania, upstate New York, as well as extending into the New England states, where they could see upwards of 12, maybe even 18 inches of snow in their forecast. Kind of jealous, to be honest with you.
You be jealous, and I'll be very content with what we've got. Really, to the northeast of us is going to be a real problem.
Right, yeah. Locally, we're only expected to see another 1 to 3 inches. Maybe the hilltops see a bit more, but again, not too much. We're just going to continue to see the light, powdery snow just continuing to fall for the rest of the day. There could be some brief periods where, okay, it doesn't look like it's snowing too bad, but still the gray and overcast skies will be continuing on. But it's going to be just a slight, continuative snow throughout the rest of the day today. With accumulations of 1 to 3. And there could be some areas of blowing snow that could cause some travel headaches. Seeing a couple accidents reported throughout the region over, most prominent one actually over into Morgantown, where a tractor trailer was reported to have flipped over. But winds blowing from the northeast at 5 to 10 miles per hour could cause for some reduced visibility. Now, there, of course, is some reduced visibility being seen throughout the region right now. I have visibility being seen only up to 2.5 miles. So standard visibility, when you can see as far as the eye can see, is around 10. We call that 10 statute miles, whereas right now we have reduced visibility of 2.5 miles. But of course, if you get caught in any sort of blowing snow, that could drop that in a heartbeat.
So in terms of snow, we are going to see some form of snow continuing probably most of the day, whether it's at least a few flakes and flurries or real snow shower, and we will see some more accumulation. So snow will be part of the day today. The weekend, Zach, was kind of a mess yesterday. We had some snow, we had some rain and some, sleet. I know sleet. I got caught in sleet at one point. I forget Saturday or Sunday. And all of that just made things a mess on the roadway too.
Yeah, we definitely got caught by surprise in terms of how far the warm air would make its way into our region. Most models were suggesting that it would hover right along Marshall, Tyler County, or right along Marshall and Wetzel County, in terms of where we're going to see that freezing rain, snow, rain, warmer air essentially coming through, but it actually made its way as far north as up into central Jefferson and Hancock County. So that really messed up a lot of the snow totals, where we were, again, forecast to see upwards of 4 to 6 inches throughout the Ohio County, Belmont County, extending up north of I-70, where that warm air certainly caused for some travel headaches. I know I had a thick layer of ice on my windshield this morning. It took me about 15 minutes to scrape that off. Now, of course, I live up on the hilltops, as you and I know, over near the Triadelphia area. But in terms of impactful stuff, roadways, major highways were fine, but those back county roads and probably in the development areas where municipalities probably haven't gotten to just yet, it could pose a little bit of a threat. So definitely want to take it easy, stay cautious, and alert as you wake up and head out the door today.
So you're going to want to give yourself time to, scrape windshields and stuff, because it's probably going to be covered over. And you mentioned it, Biff mentioned it, was kind of, that not thick, but difficult to scrape ice. So it's not going to be it's not like taking the brush and brushing it off. So give yourself time to take care of that, of the windows. Warm the car up, for heaven's sake, so you're not driving in the cold. And then be aware that the roads themselves are a little bit slippery and snow-covered. Watch out for that. And then as the morning goes on, look for the new detours to kick into effect, too, which will probably have some people confused. So you'll probably have some confused drivers out there, too. Just not the world's best morning to be out driving around, I guess.
No, it doesn't seem, especially, I totally forgot about the road closures. Thanks for the heads up. I mean, I know we've been saying it all morning, but I've been over here in the weather center just continuing to see, okay, what are the storm reports saying in terms, I was able to go outside in one of the commercial breaks to go measure snowfall across the street. I got 1.5 inches. I don't know if Teddy's coming over, Howard, but you'll have to ask him, hey, Teddy, give him a yardstick or a ruler, say, go measure some snow out on the back porch, and you have to give me a heads up to see how much you got over in that Elm Grove area.
We were out in the snow a little bit yesterday. It was good snow for snowballs.
Right.
Teddy and I ganged up on his grandma a little bit, and she wasn't too happy with that. But
nothing wrong with that.
It was good for snowballs. It was enough snow on the ground. He got his little plastic sled, if you will, out and was able to slide down our hill a couple of times. Not enough for a snowman, though. There was not enough accumulation for a snowman. It wasn't quite enough to really build a good snowman. He was a little disappointed in that, but nonetheless, he got out and had a chance to play in the snow, which he thoroughly enjoys. And I don't know about this kid. He loves to really roll around in the snow and get his face in it and stuff. Oh my God, not me.
Maybe in your youth? Did you do that in your youth, maybe?
I don't think I ever put my face in the snow. I could be wrong, but I don't think I ever put my face in the snow. He gets real happy about that and, really, really enjoys it. But, again, be cautious out there today, all the way around. Now, Zach, let's move forward. We have today, and I guess tomorrow will be somewhat similar, right?
Just mainly in the early morning hours. It looks like we're going to continue to see the remnants of this winter system swing through. Should start to taper off fully by lunchtime tomorrow. There could still be a stray snowflake, but through the overnight hours into early Tuesday morning, it looks like this system's going to continue to push eastward and get the famous nor'easter turn. That's what the system's becoming with most prominently, because winds will be blowing from the northeast into our region. That's why we call it a nor'easter. But it looks like we're just going to see some patchy snowflakes early on tomorrow, but then high pressure will start to scoot in, which will help us see flickers of sunshine later on tomorrow afternoon, and then looks like partly cloudy skies, but still colder air still into the Ohio Valley with partly cloudy skies for your Wednesday. But one thing we all have to point out and remember that tomorrow is a meteorological holiday. It's Groundhog Day tomorrow. So we have to see what the forecaster himself, Punxsutawney Phil, has to say in terms of if we're going to be dealing with 6 more weeks of winter. My prediction is that we'll officially turn to spring on March 20th. Not to be a spoiler alert or anything.
And then we have the possibility of another wintry mix coming in later in the week. Is that right?
Yes, peeking ahead into Thursday and Friday, models have been suggesting another system swinging through. Now, we're getting into a pretty active pattern, Howard. I was even looking on some social media as well as forecasting myself, looking into next week. We could even have another development of a system rather similar to this one, but again, of course, it's way 2 weeks out in advance in terms of looking ahead into the future, so that already poses enough question for concern. But still, keep an eye on this one up and coming. This Thursday and Friday, we could see a wintry mix, rain to snow, if not, again, the chance for some freezing rain. But let's not look too far ahead. Let's worry about what we have here now, and then once more model data becomes available, we'll continue to fine-tune that forecast. And, of course, let everyone know on the air, online, and on our social media apps.
You know, I always get these texts whenever we try to alert people to weather problems. All right, whenever I try and say, people, the roads are slippery, be careful. And I spend a lot of time on it because I think people need to be reminded and alerted and so on.
Right.
And invariably, I get people who say, "Oh, you're just a fear monger." People know how to drive. In this. So I got one this morning. Oh, it's not that bad outside. It's wet. It's slippery. Take your time, Nancy. Not Nancy Monroe, but just Nancy. I always get those. Hey, more power to you. If you're a great snow driver and it doesn't bug you, that's fine. But I think it's important that those of us in the media keep people informed of the weather conditions and the road conditions. And if you're one of the folks who go, it's just wet, it's just slippery, well, I'll just go out there and brave the world. That's fine. But I think it's important that people know what's coming and what's out there. And I invariably get those complaints, though, Zach, whenever I start talking a lot about the weather and roads and so on. I invariably get complaints that I'm fear-mongering. Fear-monger Monroe, one guy likes to call me.
Oh, geez. Well, I appreciate that you're helping me do my job in terms of saying, hey, this is what the weather is going to be. But, as you know, we're in the public eye, so we put ourselves out there for criticism. So it's just kind of one of those things where I don't know, you've been dealing with it a lot longer than I have. So I guess we just have to keep our heads down and just continue to push on, right?
Exactly right. So 29 is what I have at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, upper 20s to low 30s. But luckily we're not dealing with too much of a wind chill right now, but it feels like it's in the mid-20s. So certainly want to stay bundled up if you do go out and embrace the winter storm Orlena outside and out and about throughout the Ohio Valley.
Orlena. Used to have
I sound like Doc. I sound like Doc feeling like I'm talking Spanish.
They used to have pretty basic names, Tropical Storm Helen or George or something. Now we got all these weird names. Orlena. Isaiah, that was a good one. Yes, exactly. Well, it's just a way to make weather forecasters have something to do during the day. All right, Zach, you and the team will keep us informed on the Big 7, and we'll let folks know what weather is like here. And we'll talk again tomorrow morning and see how things go from there.
All right, sounds good, Howard. Have a good rest of your day, sir.
Thanks, you too. Zach Petty from the Big 7, WTRF TV. Yeah, I got a text this morning on the Facebook Live page, Biffy. Well, it's just wet and slippery out there. Just take it easy. That's true. Just take it easy, but I think it's important to let people know what's out there. Fearmonger Monroe. I should have that. I'm going to get a T-shirt. I am the fearmonger. I think that's what I'll do. 29 at the airport, 29 here at the home studios, 29 degrees at the Robinson Auto Group Studios downtown Wheeling, in the heart of the Ohio Valley. Have some COVID stories that I want to get to here. I might as well do those right now while I have a chance here, Biffy. First of all, boy, I hope this isn't the beginning of a trend. I think it's just the timing of it. We have our first cancellation of a festival event in downtown Wheeling for this year.
Already?
The 2021 Ogden Wellness Weekend, Memorial Day weekend, has been canceled due to ongoing concerns over COVID-19, according to a story in the newspaper over the weekend. The Wellness Weekend is the Ogden Newspaper Half Marathon Classic, the Tough as Nails Urban Challenge, and some of the other fun family activities they have, bicycle tours and so on and so forth. But the Ogden Wellness Weekend canceled for this year because of the concerns over COVID. I don't disagree with that decision. It's just, man, if we lost everything last summer.
Yeah, it's February. We don't need this already.
Well, I suppose it's like anything else. The amount of effort and planning and promotion and getting people in from out of the area and so on takes such a period of time that you got to do it early. I get it, and I have no reason to suggest this is the beginning of a trend, but it just makes me nervous. It's the first of the summer events. Well, first of all, it is the first of the summer events. The Ogden weekend is always the first of the summer events at the port, and now it's the first one to be canceled for this year, and hopefully the only one.
Yeah, I hope this isn't a trend that we see this year, but I don't know. We'll see, but kind of a surprise already. The second month of the year, and it seems like here we go again.
The decision to cancel the Wellness Weekend came after much deliberation and consultation with local health officials, event organizers said, due to the continued pressures and hardships that COVID-19 is putting on the community and on area healthcare providers. We believe it's in the best interest to cancel the 2021 event and focus on the 2022 Wellness Weekend. That's from Perry Nardo, GM of the Intel and the News Register. This is a difficult decision, but in the best interest of the runners, the walkers, and so on. So, second year they've had to cancel that too. So, again, hopefully that's the only event we'll have to worry about getting canceled this year. I know a lot of folks are looking forward to getting back to festival season this spring and summer, Biffy.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Yeah, me too. It would be nice to have the chili cook-off back and to have the Italian festival back and all of the other events at the port. And again, I have no reason to assume they won't be. This is just the Wellness Weekend, simply the very first of the events. It's Memorial Day weekend, and it requires some planning, and so they've canceled that. We'll talk some more COVID stuff coming up a little bit later on this morning, including, I don't get it. There are people who apparently don't think that you ought to take the vaccine. I don't know why, because I told you months ago when the vaccine came, I wanted to be first in line, and I wasn't first in line, but I did get my vaccine. We got lots and lots of people clamoring to get their vaccine. Seems to be, the real light at the end of the tunnel. Enough of us getting the vaccine, and we might get something close to normal again. But there are people who simply don't want to take it. I don't understand that, but I guess that's your call. What I don't really understand, though, is if you don't want to take it, why do you try to prevent other people from taking it? There was an anti-vaccine protest at Dodger Stadium over the weekend. Dodger Stadium had one of the largest mass vaccination clinics in the country. It was scheduled at Dodger Stadium. People were driving in, getting their vaccines. And the anti-vaxxers had a big protest rally and stopped people from getting their vaccine. Now, I don't get that. You don't want it? I don't really get that either. But if you don't want it, I guess that's your business. But you don't want it. Why would you want to stop other people from getting it?
Yeah, don't interfere in my business because you don't like something that I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I am completely confused by that. Why in the world would you prevent somebody else from getting a vaccine just because you don't? We'll talk about that and some other vaccine stuff and COVID stuff coming up in the next half hour. Also, I want to talk about how much would you pay for a good hamburger? That's coming up here on the Watchdog Morning Show, where it's just about 8 o'clock, and we head to the news desk of ABC for a full update.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
From ABC.
Biff, let me know. I don't expect him to call because they said they wanted to reschedule, like I said, but I never heard a confirmation of that. So I don't expect Jeff Gazdick to call, but if he does, let me know. If he does call in, let me know. It's fine if he does. I'm not sure what to expect here. No. The story is about some people. Gordon Ramsay, it's another one of these. Gordon Ramsay has a high-priced hamburger at one of his places, and people were bitching about the high price of it, and I don't think it's all that. And then people were saying things like, hamburgers ought to be cheap and expensive so we all can afford them. And my argument is, you know what? Some of us want to spend more money and have a better burger. And not everything has to be so cheap. No, there is no right answer. Although you can come up with, I'll ask you and you can give me what you think is a good answer. Okay, so we'll get into that. And we'll probably do that up front if we don't hear from Jeff. All right, I'll be back in a minute.